Alrighty, I think the stream is live. Let me just double check. We've had some bad weather in my area and it looks like it might storm, so I just want to make sure I'm not having any power or internet issues. Looks like we're good to go. Hello everybody, this is ZZ1000ZZ, and today I'm continuing my challenge run of Chrono Trigger, in which I try to beat the game without using any text or magic. So just items and regular old attacks. In our last video, we fought a boss here that was very tedious to get through, so I had to stop the stream, and now we're gonna pick it up. I think there's only like 3 or 4 more bosses before the final boss of the game. So I definitely think we can get through the rest of the game today. And I'm excited because I thought it would actually be a lot harder to beat this game than it seems like it might be. Now, you might be wondering, why am I backtracking through areas I've already been? Reason for that is very simple. Against the last boss, we had to use a lot of healing items, so to be safe, I'm going to backtrack to a shop and buy some more. I don't know if we'll have to fight battles along the way. Oh. No, let's just go ahead and kill these guys. They're really easy. Hi, Evil Gato. Gato was the name of a robot created by one of our characters, Luca, that we could meet at the beginning of the game and fight to win what I think they're called like silver points. The currency at a fair. We had to fight him a couple times to get coins so we could get I'm not sure what the game is actually saying it is. The guy who gave it to us was running a fair show, and he called it a doll, but our characters and other people called it a clone. So I'm not sure if there's some distinction or if people were just using different names. But anyway, we had to get it to advance the plot. And to be able to do that, we had to win coins, so we had to fight Gato a few times. And whenever you fight him, he sings a little song both before and after the fight, and I always thought it was adorable. So seeing him with a palette swap in the final dungeon is kind of funny. Anyway, so in the last video, we fought... What was it? It was one of the mutant bosses. Apparently there's 3 in this dungeon. I think the last one we fought is Giga Mutant. And then the next one will be... I think someone said Terra? Like Terra? Not sure. We'll find out soon enough, though. The reason I'm fighting these guys is it turns out they drop elixirs. And I don't think we need any more. We did already farm a few, but I don't like running away from every battle. It feels weird, so... If I'm going to fight a battle, might as well be a battle I get a nice item from. Yeah, we're going to run back to the shop. There is a shop inside the dungeon, so we don't have to go too far, fortunately. But we're going to run back, restock on healing items, then we'll go fight the next boss. I honestly don't know how many more bosses there are in this dungeon. I know there's the final boss, which I think has like 3 phases or something. The final boss of the dungeon, not of the game. But before her, there's at least 1 more boss. So it might be that we have 2 more boss fights than the final boss of the game, or there might be more bosses I'm not aware of. I have beat this game before, but it's been quite a while, so my memories are very hazy. And I've been trying not to look... I've been trying not to look up information. I was waiting to see where those enemies would go to see which direction I needed to move to avoid them, and it turns out the direction they were going to go was right toward my face. Anyway, I've been trying not to look up too much stuff about this game. I'll kill Gato. Well, Gato clone. Again? Pretty much the only thing I've actively looked up is the HP of some of the bosses when they're taking a long time. Just so I can get an idea of how long the fight will last. I just realized Twitch chat is not... 1 second. The messages weren't fading after they were sent, and I don't want to have an old message shown on screen the whole time, so I'm just going to turn that overlay off for now. Have to figure out what the setting is to make them fade as they're sent. Oh yeah, but anyway, we have been fighting some bosses that take very little damage and heal and have a ton of health. So I have tended to look up their HP totals just so I could try to get an idea of how much longer we had to go in the game. Other than that, though, I'm trying to avoid looking up things when possible. That said, I have had a couple people give me tips a few times and just share information, so I do know a little bit. The main thing is, the next mutant battle, people have told me might be a real problem. And so I am worried about that. Just checking. Yeah, it looks like we... Did I use my speed tabs? I thought I still had them. Okay. Yeah, I thought I had picked up some tabs and hadn't used them yet, but I probably did. Anyway, people have given me some tips and hints as to what's coming up, and the big thing that I want to keep in mind is I was told the next mutant boss doesn't heal for a ton so much as it has a body part that has a ton of health. 1 sec, I want to get rid of all these items that are clogging up my inventory. Because I was holding on to them because originally I was just like, oh, I want to keep my inventory organized. But as I was doing battles, I realized having those items in my inventory meant I would always have to scroll past them when I was looking for items. So the problem with getting rid of them is now if I get any more copies of those items, they'll go to the bottom of my inventory list instead of the item section. I'll have to rearrange it, and I hate doing that, but not important. Anyway, what I was told about the next mutant boss is that it has a part with, I think they told me it 20,000 HP. Or if that's not the exact amount, they said it's some other really crazy high amount. And it has super high defenses like the last mutant boss we fought did. Which means it would take an eternity to kill, except apparently the boss has 2 parts, and the other part in the fight will drain health from the one with the 20 HP pool, or 20,000 HP pool. So, apparently what I should do is let the bottom part die to the top part draining its health away. And we'll see just exactly how that works or goes when I get to the fight, but... oh wait, I didn't check how much experience I need to level up. I should check if I'm particularly close to a level. If so, it might be worth fighting like 1 or 2 extra battles just to level up. Nah. Closest anyone is, what was that, like 4,700? That'd probably be like 3 battles, maybe more. Anyway, this is a little tedious, but I genuinely have no idea how difficult the next few bosses will be. So I want to make sure we stock up now while we still can. One big thing is, I do know the final boss of this dungeon will have several phases, and we can't re-equip or buy items in between. And I'm not sure, but I think we might actually have to go straight to the final boss of the game without being able to re-equip or shop as well, so. I'm definitely worried about that, but first we have to get through at least one more battle that I expect to be quite tedious. I wish we could just avoid these battles. And I know earlier in the game there are a lot of battles we were able to avoid just by like running around them. But I haven't been able to see any indication, so like paths I can walk through to bypass the battle here. A lot of times it's literally run around the enemy, but here they seem to kind of spawn as an ambush. Or they're already there, but it's just as soon as you walk anywhere near them, they seem to attack. Oh. I think I remember there weren't many more battles. There were 2 battles in this screen, and they involved enemies named aliens, who I actually ran away from. Even though I really wanted to kill them just because I liked the fact they were named aliens. But when I tried to kill them, they counterattacked, and either I missed something, or they literally just killed Chrono in one hit as a counterattack. Just like an instant death effect. Ooh, elevator. So we're probably gonna have to fight a few fights here. And I doubt we'll be able to run away because usually you can't run in set pieces like this. Yeah, we can't run away, so we'll have to kill these guys. The question will be how many more fights there are after this battle. I think the last time we were on an elevator, there were only like 3 fights, so it shouldn't take too long. Especially with how busted Chrono is right now. Look at how many turns he's getting and how much damage he's doing in them. Wait, is that it? Okay. I really expected a lot more fights, but I'm not going to complain. Wait, did it say I can't run away? I selected my attacks while holding the buttons down to run away, so I couldn't tell. Oh no, I think it said 3 like that. But, well, maybe it did say I can't run away. Normally I'd have run away by now if I could. Right. Yeah, to show why I wasn't getting rid of my ethers is earlier is they were taking up these slots. If I had organized my list to get rid of these gaps, and when I picked up that ether, it would have gone all the way down here, and it's not really OCD, but I just hate that sort of disorganization. But now we'll have this one hyper ether just in our inventory, logging it up, and actually, I guess we can solve that problem by just using the hyper ether, even though we don't care about our MP, our magic points. We can't run away from these guys, so we'll have to kill them. At least that gets us another elixir. Yeah, I think I will actually just use the hyper ether, even if I don't need it. But before I do, I'll get to the next save point, because I assume there's another save point before the next boss. That way, if we get any more hyper ethers, I can use them as well. I am definitely a hoarder in video games. I usually don't use many consumables, and even when I do use them, I try to, save as many as possible. But in a run like this, I just don't want items if they have no value, and a lot of items have no value. That is, I just want to say, this is really cool atmosphere, environment, whatever you want to call it. Okay, these guys do drop elixirs as well. But yeah, I love how we're on like a platform and the background shows that we're kind of up in the air. I think that creates a really cool aesthetic. That's one thing this game definitely does well, is the just general aesthetics and vibes. Alright. That should get us another elixir. Cool, cool. Oh, he's kept out her magic defense. Nice. And Robo's actually not too far from leveling up. Anyway, I'm using my tonics to heal here for the same reason I was talking about before. Inventory management. If I can use up all my tonics, they won't be in my item list. So I won't have to scroll past them when trying to find items. Doesn't really matter when you're in this menu, but when you're in a fight, it can be nice to shrink the inventory list. Oh. Okay, so we do have to fight these. I know from experience you can't run away from panels. I think somebody told me you can charm... Was it magic tabs from them? One of the stat boosting items, I forget what. Yeah, apparently if you want, you can get a ton of permanent stat boosting items with Ayla in this dungeon by charming all the enemies you come across. Or at least all the fixed ones, the ones that don't respawn. Man, look at Chrono. It's insane. And I don't know that it's really because he's Chrono. I think the main thing is I've just focused on him. He has the best weapon he can get in the entire game. I've given all my stat boosting items, like the permanent stat boosting items, to him. And I've given him my haste helm. So he has auto haste and prism specs, which apparently boosts his attack damage by like 50%. I want to see something. Is there a boss arena here, or is it more regular? Well, it looks like there's chests, so I don't know if it's a boss area or not, but I'm gonna guess that it is. And if not in that room, probably the very next one, so... Let's go ahead and give a speed tab to... Hold on, just verifying. Yeah, Ayla's speed cap, so is Chrono. Ayla does need this accessory to hit the cap, but she'll be using it for the rest of the game, so that's fine. Now Robo will have 10 speed. And we want to use a shelter to heal up. We are down to 13 lapis, and that sucks, because that's our only item that, or the only way we can heal our entire party at the same time, during combat at least, other than our mega elixirs, and those are super limited. So... Okay, yeah, I think this might be a boss. Let's find out. Yep. So this is the mutant boss people were warning me about. Terra Mutant. And apparently I should only focus on the top half, because the bottom half has way too much health. And it has... Oh, okay. That was a counterattack. And, okay, yeah. And it looks like the bottom half also counterattacks with Life Shaver, which automatically sets your health to 1, so yeah, we're definitely not hitting it. So yeah, I guess we just hit the top health. Wait a second. Oh, okay, so the top half is going to drain health from the bottom half and heal itself by doing so. What that means is we will never be able to do enough damage to outpace the healing it gets. So until the bottom half is dead, there's really no reason to attack. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit here until the top half drains the bottom half for us. Once it kills the bottom half for us and it can't heal off it, then we'll go on the offense. So this is going to be an interesting one. We've had a number of boss battles that were very tedious because of how many times we had to attack them to kill it. This is the first boss battle where where our optimal strategy is to sit there and do nothing except heal up until something happens. But I love it. I believe that was 3 times. I was told the bottom thing has, I think they said 20,000 health. So that's going to mean it needs 17 more drains before we can do anything. So, yeah. I can't look away from the screen because I do have to be mindful that it could kill me if, I don't heal every now and then. Oh, I didn't buy more of these healing items. That's unfortunate. I stocked up on the mid tonics and full tonics, but not the heal item, which cures status ailments, so. Hopefully that doesn't become too much of an issue. For now, though, we are just gonna sit around, chill while the boss slowly kills one half of itself for us. While I do, we should maybe look up how much health the top half has. I believe that was 5 times he's used it, so we should need 15 more turns. Not turns, but cycles where he does that. I didn't see what this was. Oh, that was the Chaos one? Okay. Yeah, we should heal him. Mostly so he doesn't, by pure chance, hit the bottom half and trigger Life Shaver. But yeah, it looks like he may have a fixed attack pattern. If so, we could probably learn it and then figure out when he'll do the drain from the bottom again. I think it's soon. Yeah, okay. So that's 6 times. Oh yeah, let's actually heal Robo. So yeah, I think he'll use that AoE attack that causes chaos as one of his next couple actions. Oh, nope, never mind. It's not a fixed pattern. I thought it was cycling through things in the exact same order, but nope. Must just be like an RNG roll. Anyway, this is an interesting boss fight, at least for now, because we're literally just watching him kill himself. I have to imagine if you have magic, you can just blast him really fast. I don't know how that works with his bottom half, though. Does his bottom half die quickly if it really does have 20,000 HP? I think that was 7 times he's done that. So the bottom half, I think, is at like 12,000 something. What to say, this is the most relaxing boss fight I've ever had in this game. Alright, I think that was 8. I might be off on my count by like 1 or 2, but... Yeah, Robo, hit him for 29. He's only gonna heal for 1,000. If I could attack the bottom without triggering a counterattack, I would do that just to try to speed up how quickly it does, but it used the Life Saver the one time I hit it, and I ain't gonna mess with that. The real question, though, will be how many bosses there are after this. I mean, this dungeon's been going on for quite a while, so I think we're getting close to the end. This may even be the last boss fight before we get to Queen Zeal and the end of the dungeon. I think that was 9. Anyway, this is going to be boring, of course. Not much going on. Okay, that's be number 10. Or once the bottom half is dead, we'll be able to start actually acting, and it'll be a little more interesting. Actually, this is the longest battle. I don't think any of the remaining bosses will be like this, but... Right, we heal Chrono. Alright, I think that was 11. Wait, I didn't see, was that against Robo? I think it was. I don't think that hit the bottom half. Those counterattacks are so funny to me right now. Cool. I think that was number 13, was it? I've honestly lost track. But yeah, I think we're like 60 to 70% of the way done with the first phase of this fight. Okay, I think that was 14? Oh, yeah, we should probably heal. Okay, first we heal Chrono, then Robo can heal himself. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was getting so ambivalent to the fight, or not ambivalent, but bored of the fight, I just let someone die. That's embarrassing. Alright, I think that's about 15, so it should just be 5 more, then we'll be done with the first phase. Yeah, I've said this in previous sessions. I do not think this is the most exciting content. I wouldn't watch this myself. I'm doing this mostly to document the run. At some point, I might actually go back and, like, edit the footage. I did a challenge run with similar rules as this for Chrono Cross. what I was thinking about doing is going back and like making a montage of the boss fights of that run. This one, if I did do a montage of boss fights, I'd have to like speed up this sort of fight by like 20 times or something. I don't think anyone really would want to watch videos like this sort of gameplay, but I do think people might be interested to see like how the boss mechanics work if you don't use magic and what sort of strategy you can use to beat it. I think we only need 4 more of those. Anyway, if anyone does happen to stop by, hi, hope you're doing well. I'm actually tempted to bring up an ebook on my phone and start reading it. The downside is I did already have Robo die on me once because I wasn't paying attention, and if I start reading a book, I'm sure it'll happen again. So, yeah, it is definitely a different experience to be able to just sit and watch the fight and not have to do anything. I wonder what it'd be like to play an RPG where that's all you could do. Like, I was talking in yesterday's video with someone about how I watched a Berserker-only run of Final Fantasy V, where they could only beat, or they had to beat the game using only Berserkers who you can't control in combat. I wonder what it's like to actually do a run like that. In his case, oh, sweet, we killed it. Well, we didn't kill it, it killed itself. But in the case of that guy's run, it probably sucked just because it was very slow and tedious. Because of how weak his options were. But if your options are stronger in a game, it might be fun. Oh, okay. I was about to say, dear lord, that hit hard, but no, it just hit everyone to 1 HP. So let's go ahead and use a Lapis. Actually, let's use 2 to be safe. It's interesting that he can put the entire party to 1 HP, but only once the bottom half is dead. Wait. What? What? I hit him like 1 time and he died. What just happened? Well, okay, maybe this fight was more interesting to watch than I thought. I think that must have been a bug. Like, what? How did I just kill? What? Okay, let's think about this rationally. Okay, maybe there's an HP limit. Like, your max HP can only go so high. In the process of healing himself so much, he went over that limit, triggered an overflow bug, which effectively rolled his HP back to his super low value. And so he wound up being treated like he only had 100 HP instead of like... Is that a thing that could happen in this game? Oh my god, that is... I wish there were people watching. I don't know if anyone's in the stream right now. I wish people were watching this live just... Like, yeah, we can see it in the VOD and go back on YouTube, but... I just feel like I need somebody else to see that this happened to know it was real. Okay, well, that is... I mean, I can't say I'm mad that I was not looking forward to a super long grind session of beating him down, but... Oh, that was maybe the easiest boss fight of the entire run. I can't. Okay, I don't even know what to make of that. That was just, huh. Oh wait, well, we have another boss fight. Ooh, this one's looking fancy. Um, okay, yeah, sure. If this is like the other lava spawns, it should be quite easy. We just make sure to hit the mouth, not the shell. I might, after this boss fight, I might take like a 2-minute break just to collect my thoughts because, I mean, I've seen bugs in games that can do weird things like that, but okay. I wonder if this is like a known bug, or did I discover something brand new that's never been found before in this game? Oh my god. I'm definitely gonna have to like make a clip of that and share it like on its own on YouTube or something. Or somewhere. Because that was just the strangest thing I've come across in this challenge run. I do think it must be some sort of memory bug where the game couldn't handle the value that the enemy was listed as or something. And so it thought the enemy was actually at a different value. That's why I died instantly. But I don't know what the mechanics of that would have been. Because the boss shouldn't have been healing at all. Its HP should have been whatever. I think it has like 7,500 HP. So every time it healed, it should have just been set to that amount. I don't know why it would have gone over it, but I think it must have, because some sort of like memory overflow or underflow is the only way I can see that happening. I don't know. All right. But yeah, and that next boss, of course, was super easy. Okay, yeah, I really wish I had a witness for that, because, I am gonna just take like a 2-minute break to collect my thoughts, and I'm gonna update my stream title because I'm pretty sure we're at the final boss, so I want to say so. But, wow, okay, well. Okay, well, hopefully my mic didn't pick up too much of my laughter there. I know it's not that big a deal, bugs happen in games, blah blah blah. But honestly, I had been building that fight up in my mind as this is gonna be like this super tedious battle. At the end of my last stream, I fought a single boss for over an hour. I think in the end it was close to like an hour 15 minutes to kill one boss. And I thought this boss was gonna be like that. And then it just kills itself. I mean, I think we hit it one time, and then it died. I Yeah, I was building myself up to have a lot of patience and be like, okay, this is gonna be a lot of effort. Alright, so we have these panels we have to kill. But yeah, I have to say, I am so happy. And I think that's part of why I had such a strong reaction, is just, it was so strange, but so welcome. Like, it's just so nice. I love how Robo doesn't move to attack these enemies, so he just punches them from across the screen. I think it's so fun. Chrono, meanwhile, jumps across the screen being all badass. I don't know what it is about Ayla, but even though she's doing effectively the same thing as Robo when she attacks like that, it just doesn't seem as cool. I think it's just his punch animation adds to it. Yeah, I think her animation looks a lot better when she's actually jumping. Whereas Robo's animation looks just fine without the jump. So I think that's why I like it more when he punches from across the screen than when she does. Not a big deal. It's just, I'm not used to seeing him do it, so it's cool. Okay. What are these? I don't think they're like clones or anything. Are they? I think they're holograms, like some sort of display. Oh, we can't walk over to those ones? Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're at the end. We're at the end. Wow, this might actually be a really short session then, like how fast that went. Behold, my pretties, destiny in its most brutal form. All the dreams that might have been, all the happiness and sorrow you might have experienced. Gone forever. For you there will be no tomorrow. The dark omen transcends time and space, waiting for Lavos to awaken. Destiny has led you here, and here you shall rest forever, unless you can defeat me and smash the omen. I have to say, I do think this is one of the highlights of the game. This final dungeon. I think the very start of the game and the very end of the game are the best parts of the game. Come, dear friends, perhaps I can persuade Lavos to share his dreams with you. Did I say dreams? I meant his eternal nightmares. And if you have to make, one part of your game better than the rest, you probably want it to be either the very beginning or the very end. So, they made the right call. Okay, we saw this Halation attack in the last fight. So we need to heal up. You know what? I'm actually going to burn a Mega Elixir. Well, we only have 7. Yeah, I'm going to do it. After this boss, I mean, she has multiple phases, but after this boss, we only have the final boss of the game, so I think using 1 Mega Elixir is fine. I just have to be worried that she might use that Halation attack again. If so, I'll just start using other healing items instead. The main reason I use the Mega Elixir is my characters had already queued up their attack, so I was worried she'd get another turn and start killing people. But her damage in this phase doesn't seem very high other than that Halation attack, so I think we're fine to use Lapis this time. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead. I was going to say we could just use full tonics even, but this should be fine. Oh, God. She used it again? That's like back to back, isn't it? Dang. That's using up most of my Lapis. I think I'll start switching to other healing items now. Yeah, let's just use some mid-tonic. I used the Lapis right away. That way nobody was at 1 HP in case she got an attack in before they could heal up again. Oh, okay, yeah, I think we're fine. Her damage in this phase definitely seems pretty low, other than Halation, so this should be good. Oh, cool. We took down the phase. Got a Mega Ether, I think it said. Arr, my powers don't seem to work here. Wait, I'll simply toss you into the Mammoth Machine. You'll be one with the Dark Omen. And me. Haha. Oh, okay. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so it doesn't look like this one has multiple parts, it's just... Oh god, no. No, I don't want to see that. Okay, well, we might be in another one of those battles that is super tedious because it looks like he gets tons of defense like we've seen from several bosses. That said, some bosses do get high attack or high defense temporarily, so maybe he'll drop his defenses. I'm kind of hoping so. Well, no, I'm not kind of hoping so. I'm really hoping so. Oh, yeah. Robo's a little lower on health than I'd like, so I'm gonna have him heal, since I don't know what this guy does yet. No, let's actually have everyone be over 500 HP. This guy hasn't done anything yet, but I am worried about what he might do. Often enemies that stand by doing nothing for quite a while have like a big attack they use afterwards. Okay. Well, that was a very big attack. Okay. Wait, he stands still? Stand still? Okay, so yeah, maybe this is just gonna be a really tedious fight like I was expecting the Terra Mutant fight to be. Oh! Wait. Why did Robo's damage go? Okay. I don't know why all of a sudden our damage went back to normal, but I guess its defense buff wears off after a while. When it first said stand still, I thought maybe that was going to mean that its defense wore off. But it didn't, so maybe it's based on like the amount of time instead. I should have used the full tonic. I think I'm at the point where we don't need to worry about conserving our full tonics at all. Point clear. Okay. Yeah, we still have like 95 or so full tonics. I don't see any world which we go through all of those. Hey, it was exactly 95. Good. Alright, well, this will... Huh. If he doesn't change his attack pattern, I'm going to be very surprised because this is much easier than I would have expected. Huh. Well, I think he did all of like 700 damage that entire fight. Ooh, I want to watch this. Is that a mountain? Oh. That actually was making me think it was like the mountain, like the ground erupting as Lavos came up from under the ground. It's a really cool parallel in the artwork. That's pretty badass. You cretins. I plan to live with Lavos and control the universe forever. You will not get in my way. Indulge in such regrets in the next life. Oh. Okay, so it looks like there are 3 parts to this fight, or 3 enemies. Okay, so we'll try hitting the hand on the left. We deal... Oh, okay. So it looks like we deal almost no damage to that hand, and it counterattacks by setting us to 1. What about the other hand? Okay. Yeah, and so one hand sets your life to 1, the other hand drains all your MP. So it looks like we're supposed to just focus the head. We can work with that. Oh god. Imagine if we do have to kill the hands. Sometimes with bosses you have to kill all the parts, other times you kill the main part and the rest fade off. The ones I'm thinking of for that are like Mother Brain with the displays, or what was it, Giga something with its hands. I think those were all enemies that respawn, though. I don't know about ones like this boss. Okay, that's some pretty good damage. You know what? I'm just gonna have everyone use a mid or a full tonic. I'm tired of conserving resources. I do even have elixirs left. Yeah, I have 25 elixirs. This should be more than enough healing items. Yeah. We're going to try to just only use full tonics, unless it's a case where we're playing around the enemy using like Howlation or other attacks to set into 1 health. Oh god, our entire party is going to 1, and nobody has a turn queued up, so I'm worried. I think somebody will die here before I get another turn. No, no. Yes, I did just burn a Mega Elixir. Probably a wrong idea, but I was in a bit of a panic state. Because I genuinely thought one of the parts was going to get another attack in and kill my part. Well, maybe not the whole party, but at least one member. What? This sword that Chrono has is insane. I think I remember it said that it had 70% crit rate. Oh, dude, you missed out on the craziest thing ever. The boss died in 1 hit. I kid you not. I think it must have been some sort of memory issue, like memory overflow or underflow, where it was a bug. But I basically sat there, waited while the top half drained the bottom half for like 20 times. The bottom half died. Robo did hit the top half a couple times with counterattacks, and I threw some attacks in. But basically, we just sat there. The bottom half died. I attacked the top half. I swear it was just like 1 time. It took a couple actions, and then it just died suddenly. I don't know what happened. It was the weirdest thing. Oh, I like my mind genuinely couldn't function for like 10 seconds after it happened. I was just like, what? Oh. I don't know if there's like some bug that involves a memory issue that is known, like it's been documented somewhere. If not, I may have just discovered a bug that nobody else has ever found in the game. Okay, thank God we don't have to kill the hands. But yeah, that I cannot wait until the stream is done so I can go back and watch it, because I swear it was the weirdest thing that's happened this entire run. But anyway, how dare you insects come after me? Oh, mighty Lavas, lend me your power. But yeah, it was, on top of that, it was also just really weird. The whole fight, I was basically sitting there doing nothing other than healing every now and then. Oh yeah, I'm sure for like normal gameplay, this weapon doesn't compare to just spamming Luminaire all the time, but for our challenge run, Chrono's damage is way higher than everyone else's. Oh, I wasn't reading that text. She was talking about how badass Lavos is or whatever. But yeah, I was all keyed up and like anticipating some really long fight against that mutant where I had to spend another hour grinding out all the damage, sort of like I did at the end of the last recording session. And then the boss just died. And I was just, I still can't get over it. It was the weirdest thing. Alright. Lavos enters attack mode. Ooh, yeah. So now we're in the boss rush phase. Oh cool, we can use items and such. I don't think we need to worry about equipment or healing before the dragon tank. Probably dies like one below per part. No, I haven't looked up a list or anything about how many phases or like which bosses we have to refight. Because I know it's not every boss we fought, but I know it's a lot of them. Oh, we'll probably have to fight Nizbel again. I just hope it's the first Nizbel, not the second one. See, that's what I've always wondered. I couldn't quite figure out, is this supposed to be like a pocket dimension? And if so, then when like Chrono dies, it looked like he was casting Luminaire. Was he casting it on Lavos to like hurt it, or was he trying to break out of the dimension, or what? I've never really known. But like when we defeated Queen Zeal, I think the Black Omen sank into the water. So I don't think we're in any natural space. So I think it had to be some sort of pocket dimension. Oh. This will take a little while, because this is the Hecarim fight. Yeah. If it's like the Hecarim fight we had to do at the beginning of the game, we'll actually get to see a cool difference in its attack pattern. That bubble attack, it uses the bubble attack twice, and then it uses like a whirlpool attack, I think, or some sort of cyclone thing. But once he drops below half health, he stops using the bubble attack and uses the cyclone attack twice in a row. And then he uses a physical attack after. At this point, of course, it doesn't matter because the damage is so low. But back when we first fought him, it mattered quite a bit because the bubble attack is way weaker than this cyclone attack is. Also, I discovered that if he's in the middle of an attack pattern, like say he's used the bubble twice. Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot. After he uses that attack pattern, he'll then say, go ahead and attack, and that's when his counterattack phase goes. So the idea was, let him use the bubble, and then the cyclone, keep beating him up, then pause, wait until he says that the counterattack phase has ended, then go back to attacking. One little trick, though, was when he first drops below 50%, it resets his attack pattern. So he could actually do bubble, bubble, cyclone, 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 physical attack on that one time when his health first reaches, or drops below 50%. The reason I mention that is it very nearly killed me. Because I was planning my healing around him attacking 3 times, but then he attacked like 5 or 6 times in a row instead. It was actually pretty cool doing that fight and learning how his attack pattern works and figuring out like how much I needed to heal and win. Trying to figure out how to maximize my damage per cycle, stuff like that. Also, yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, Lavos actually is kind of talking in this, isn't he? Fun fact, in Chrono Cross, Lavos talks at the end of the game. I don't know if you've played it. I imagine most people who watch Chrono Trigger streams have, but... I know a lot of Trigger fans aren't big fans of Cross. There's some overlap, but a lot of people don't. But you can feel whatever way about that. But I do think the way Chrono Cross handled Lavos in the final fight was really cool. Because it basically showed that Lavos has some level of sentience and intelligence. And I don't want to say made him sympathetic, but like somewhat sympathetic. A big message in Chrono Cross is that, all life, like just living requires destroying other life. Okay, that looked so funny. I love that how Lavos' little head looks when he comes out to attack physically. Anyway, it basically was depicting Lavos as just another life form trying to survive and go about its life, even though we hate it because, oops, like we hate it because it's killing us or people we care about. To him, it's just trying to survive. I thought that was a really interesting take on the character. You beat him with two Berserk characters? Oh god. How did you even manage that? Like, the... God, yeah, at that stage? Because they'll trigger his counterattacks, since I imagine there's no way to prevent that from happening. And his counterattack hurts pretty hard at that point in the game. Did you just have to, like, massively over-level, or...? So what kind of challenge were you doing that you had two Berserk characters for the fight? Was it like a challenge run where you have to beat the whole game with two Berserk characters, or...? Also, I'm still sad that there's apparently an accessory I could have gotten that would have made one of my characters into a Berserker, and I somehow didn't find it. Oh. I'll be honest, I'm not even paying attention to when it says that he's in his counterattack mode. So I only noticed that I should stop attacking after he counters. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how you would beat some of the bosses if you have, or 2/3 of your party was Berserk. Some of them would definitely be pretty doable, but I don't know about a few of them. Hey, this is the guy who was on the bridge. I don't remember his name, but it was when we first meet Ozzy. You know, it's not a bad name, but I've just never been comfortable with swearing. I do it every once in a great while, but to me it's very much the exception. I don't know that there's any particular reason, it's just how I've been for as long as I can remember. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Masamune shouldn't be a problem. Because it showed it was his second phase. In the first phase, I remember I actually cared about which of the two guys I attacked. I think I had to hit Mune, not Masa, because otherwise it triggered a counterattack that did some pretty good damage. Zombor because he's a zombie and boring? You're not wrong. I will say, though, one thing I liked about Zombor... Okay, so this is the first Nizbel fight. But one thing I did like about Zombor is you can kill his top half, and then he's just like some skeleton legs and hip bones running around. And I thought he looked so funny like that. I love the idea of fighting, like, you know, a skeleton that's just running around trying to kick you. Yeah, if I remember right, this phase, or this, I can't talk. This Nimble? What did... Nizbol had, like 4,500 HP or so, so it shouldn't take long to eat him. I don't know why I try to call him Nimble. Hey, I did try challenging him. I don't know if you saw... Oh, I'm sorry, you said if I could actually damage him. Yeah, I thought you said if I actually challenged him. Yeah. I mean, I did deal a little damage to him, but it was like 1 in 5 attacks even hit him. And then, they were only for like 20 damage, and then the top half would heal. The crazy thing is the bottom half apparently didn't heal. So in theory, I might have been able to kill the bottom half, but I could never have killed the top half. So it would have been like the floating top half of a skeleton that would have defeated me. I am still sad that I couldn't nipple. You know, I didn't look at his character model, but I mean, it is a big, roided up body shape. I wonder if you can see his nipples. You know, thanks a lot. Never before in my life have I wondered, can you see a dinosaur's nipples? But now I'm actually pondering the question. Now, I'm guessing they're not going to make me fight both Nizbul fights, because that would be pretty redundant. But there's probably, what, Magus, the Black Tyranno, what other bosses would make sense? Probably the Giga whatever, the boss that was guarding the Guru of Reason on the floating island. I'm still confused. When we rescued the Guru in like 12,000 BC, he was on like a floating mountain, and the entire mountain collapses. And just, I feel like an entire mountain collapsing should have caused some sort of problem, but nobody reacted to it. They're just like, "Oh my God, it's collapsing." We see the mountain fall, and then nothing happened. Wait, you really do? I didn't know they changed the music depending on which mode you go through. Here's a question for you, because I don't know. Do I ever get the opportunity to leave, and if I want? I know if you go through the Black Omen like I'm doing, you have to fight the first couple phases before you get to the point of the Lavos fight that you would normally get to by going through the bucket or flying the Epoch into him. But I don't know if I can leave at any point. Or do I just have to fight like 3 or 4 phases in a row with no chance to save or heal or leave? I don't really care about leaving the dungeon, but I would very much like a save point. That's the main thing I want at this. Because I just beat Queen Zeal, Mammon Machine, Queen Zeal again. Now I'm fighting Lavos as a boss rush, which is going to be however many bosses this is. And then I'm still going to have to fight, I think, at least one more phase, his outer shell. And that's so many battles, I do not want to have to redo them all if I die in the last couple phases of the fight. Okay. That's very good to know. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so if I can leave, then I can save, and there may be a save point even if I can't leave, but the main thing is I don't have to worry about losing all my progress if I die in the 3rd or 4th phase. I think there are 4 phases, right? There's the boss rush phase, the outer shell, then there's 2 fights inside it, I think? I think that's what, right? One unfortunate thing about this boss is his attack pattern doesn't change when he gets to low health, so you don't have a guidance of how much damage you've done. I did really like that bosses like Hecarim, you could tell when they got to half health. That said, I did notice something. I think when you fight Nizbel the first time, there may be an indication, even though his attack pattern doesn't change. I think when he drops below 50% health, I think he may just stop walking around the screen. I think he moves around the screen until he gets to 50% health, then he just stands still. But I could be wrong about that. But regardless, I do want to say I really wish this game let the sight scope work on bosses. It probably wouldn't matter to people in any normal run, but in a challenge run like this, it would feel so nice to be able to tell how much HP an enemy has. I guess it might be nice for like when there's a boss with multiple parts to know like this part only has 1,000 HP, so you can kill it quickly. This other part has 10,000, so you should probably kill it last. I just realized, if I fight Magus again, I wonder if I should bring Chrono into my party. Yeah, okay, this is Magus. Should I bring, or not Chrono, should I bring Frog into the party to use the Masamune? I don't know if it actually matters, but I'll go ahead. I mean, that is a pretty sizable drop in damage, but I do know the Masamune could hit Magus for full damage when in certain parts of the battle. If I remember right, it was... What was it? I think it was... Not here. Oh, maybe. Wait. Okay, yeah. It works the first time, I think. But now if I have Frog attack again, he won't do as much damage, maybe? No, it's not about the amount of damage she deals. It's about triggering a counterattack. That's what it was. Something I learned in the Magus fight is Frog, when he hits with the Masamune the first time, will not trigger that counterattack. Or any counterattack. But for the next certain amount of time, even Frog will trigger a counterattack when attacking. Oh yeah, these counterattacks deal so little damage, I'm just gonna force it, I don't care. But okay, so back to what I was saying. Magus counterattacks against physical attacks with barrier change followed up by a spell. The Masamune does not trigger that, except that the first time you hit him with the Masamune, it'll lower his magic defense. As long as that debuff is still applied, further hits with the Masamune will trigger the counterattack. After a certain amount of time, it's not like number of actions, but it's like an amount of in-game time or something. The debuff will wear off. The debuff from the Muramana, or the Masamune will wear off, and then Frog can hit him again without triggering a counterattack. The reason I'm pointing this out was it was very important to figure that out when I fought Magus, because those counterattacks were dealing a ton of damage, and learning to do that was how I was able to beat. And yeah, I wasn't sure. That's why I was like, should I equip them Masamune? I didn't know if it would actually work like that or not, but I guess it just kind of happened by default. They probably just copy-pasted the functions, so I guess it makes sense, but it is really cool that it worked. And then this is the other thing I found out. I didn't know when I first fought him. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it is. But once Magus drops below a certain amount of health, I think like 50%, he drops his defenses, and then you can just blitz him with physical attacks. As for the whole Melchior not reacting, not changing the timeline, I probably shouldn't talk too much about that. I have genuinely crashed out while doing this stream, or this challenge run, because of trying to think of how to say this in a way. I don't want to upset anyone. I know a lot of people really like this game. I have not been impressed by the game's writing, and I genuinely crashed out at a couple points of the game. Like, got genuinely angry with the game. So, yeah, it's definitely weird what you say about us not affecting the timeline, but my view is there are a lot of weird things like that with this game's writing, and I probably shouldn't say more. I love the game's aesthetic, the general vibes, that part, but yeah. I don't want to like bash a game or even parts of a game because that's just not what this is about. I will say, for me though, the biggest thing is I don't understand why they decided to start the game with a grandfather paradox. You know how like Marl disappears because of the whole thing with Queen Leene in the past not getting rescued. And they make a point of not just having her disappear because of the paradox, but she got, like, she said she was in some void and it was a horrible experience and she was so scared. Every time I play the game and I get to that point, I feel like that is such an interesting idea and they should have explored it. And I don't know why it just gets dropped for the rest of the game. It's such a weird thing to me. Like, even if you think there's some explanation you can come up with so it's not a plot hole, I just think it was a really weird choice. I definitely think it would have been cool if, like, we would have seen our actions affect the timeline more, but... Okay, so his... I think, yeah, his defense definitely drops, because this is Tyranno, and I know we did a ton of damage. I'm not sure when it drops, though. I think I remember you have to kill Azala, and then something happens, and it causes him to lower his defenses. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. He lowers his defenses so he can start doing his countdown where he goes like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then does a big attack. That's right. You know, I think I actually died against this boss fight the first time I tried it. Because I think I just got reckless, didn't heal, and then, like, got surprised by a bunch of damage. Hmm. Oh, right. I think I remember. I think this is a boss who, every time he goes through that cycle, the attack he uses gets stronger. Like, his stats goes up as the fight goes on. So the first time he went through his cycle, he used the big attack he was building up to, and it did almost no damage. So I was like, oh, this is easy. I don't need to worry about it. And then he went through the cycle a second time, and I thought it was only going to do like 100 damage to each of my characters, and instead it did like 400 and killed me. I don't think we need to hit... Oh, wait, yeah, we do want to hit the hands in this fight. That's right. Because if we don't, they'll counterattack. It's not much damage, but killing one hand should be enough to speed up things. Wait, is this the last boss in the boss rush? I think it might be. Not 100% sure, but I think it might be the last boss. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we only need to kill one hand to stop the counterattack. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then that point where you're talking about Shallo's Pendant, I know some people got upset with Chrono Cross and how it handled Shallo's Pendant. They're like, well, how could the character in Chrono Cross have it if it then also wound up with Marl and Chrono Trigger? And it's like, well, I mean, they didn't explain how it got to Marl. Does it really matter how it got to someone else, too? Like, we didn't get an explanation of how that pendant got to anyone. Who cares? If, like, somebody had to have the pendant between Shala and Marl. Probably a bunch of people did. Oh well. I do remember some people had the theory that Marl was Shala's descendant. And I don't think the game does anything to suggest that, but maybe it does. Oh wait, this is a real Lavos. It's not a boss we fought. Maybe I should focus up. That is a very good question. I have no idea. I'm trying to remember. Did the Ocean Palace fall into water after that happened? Or did it fall into land? Or what? I'm trying to think, like, where geographically it would have landed. Because there were a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but there were survivors from Zeal. So maybe someone from Zeal just found it in the rubble? Huh. That was a critical hit, and it only did 400 damage. Okay. So I guess the confusion status doesn't just lower your chance to hit, it also reduces your damage. I guess that makes sense. They probably nerf both the hit rate and the damage when you're confused, so you don't, like, one-shot your party members. But I don't think I ever noticed that before. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so the Ocean Palace sinks into the water, so... Huh. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense then. I guess that's actually something that you could look at Chrono Cross, quote unquote, fixing. Because Chrono Cross had, I don't know if you played it, but basically tells us that before Sala disappeared to wherever she did, she used the magic to do stuff. So maybe she kind of like sent her pendant out so it could be found. And then the pendant did whatever it did in Chrono Cross. And then after the events of Chrono Cross somehow made it tomorrow. Like maybe Chrono Cross was part of the chain of events necessary for Marvel to get the pendant. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and think about what the different games say to really get an idea. But anyway, those first two phases were not so bad. Honestly, that second phase was way easier than I expected it to be. According to my sensors, we're close to the center. Lava smell stronger. I wonder what stronger smells like. And I don't say that as a criticism of the game or her. There are lots of things that have smells. I assume that's the portal to leave, but I don't need to leave. There are lots of things where you can say it smells like something and it makes sense, but it's like hard to actually identify what the actual smell is. Yeah. Well, two things. First, yeah, that bot stops by once per stream, and it's a different account every time, so I don't bother banning it because it's better to show up with a different account. But two, who said somebody in prehistoric times can't know numbers? She clearly is intelligent enough to speak, have language. I'm sure they could figure out the concept of 1, 2, 3. Amazing. It houses all the DNA of every creature that ever lived. Ayla, not give up. You know, you say that, but I actually remember being very confused by something. Okay, so that hand takes full damage. When you first go to the end of time, Gasper talked about how, like, things that get misplaced from time or whatever wind up there, and he explains how that works. But then he actually says more and more people have been showing up here lately, and then says something about, like, it causing problems for the fabric of time or space-time reality, whatever. But he specifically says more and more people have been showing up at the end of time. And I don't know if that's just like a weird translation quirk or if it was in the Japanese version too. But I really want to know who else has been showing up at the end of time and why do we never see them or anything? Not sure which hand we should attack first. I'm going after the white one because that's the one we've done more damage to. But also, can Gasper leave the end of time? He sure acts like he's trapped there. But like, why? We show up with a time machine, or even before that, we have the gate key. Couldn't he just be like, hey guys, I've been trapped here for a long time. Do you mind if I like go rejoin society? At least for a little while? Like, maybe go get a burger or something, man? I know I would if I were him, but I'm actually going to heal just in case. Okay. Yeah, these things have so much HP, I'm not sure I need to kill. Oh, yeah, maybe I need to kill both. I don't know if he'll revive them, is the thing. I know one of the bosses we fought earlier in the game. Actually, no, I think two of them were that way. Where you could kill one arm or one part. No, what was Mother Brain? She had like 3 or 4 monitors, so it's not even kill one. It was as long as you didn't kill all of the part, they wouldn't revive. So you could kill all but one and then focus the main body. I don't know if that would be a good strat here, or if we should just kill both arms right away. Oh, that is. Oh god, please don't tell me the second to last fight of the entire game is going to be a super slugfest. Watch this boss have like 20,000 HP and I deal less than 50 damage per swing. I am really curious about Specchio, like you say. Wait. How did Ayla got affected with confusion? She had an item that made her immune to status effects. I guess this boss disabled it somehow? I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Huh. Okay. I've never seen another game where a boss could remove their status protections, at least not if they were from items. Like, I've seen bosses cast dispel effects plenty of times, but that's cool. Oh, yeah, I did see something about it, but I was talking and the text box went by quickly enough, I didn't really think about what it said. Does it do it permanently, or, like, is it temporary? Because if it's permanent and, like, the item is now useless for the rest of battle, it might mean it's better not to use the item at all. But if it only lasts, like, 30 seconds or so, then not a big deal. Yeah, I don't know if we get any indication of what Specchio is. Oh my god, that was a lot of damage. Much less how he got there or why he's just chilling at the end of time doing nothing. I don't know that we really needed to heal up that hard, but there's only one more phase after this fight, and I still have a fair number of Mega Elixirs, so I'm just using one. But yeah, Specchio even says that how powerful he is depends on how powerful the person facing him is. Or is it how powerful the person facing him perceives him to be? I don't remember. It was, he either said if you think he seems strong, then he is strong, or he said if you are strong, then I am strong. I think it was the latter. I think he basically said, however strong you are, it determines how strong I am. And if that's the case, I would love to see him go up against Lavos. I mean, we saw he can change what he looks like change his shape. Imagine if like he could transform into a giant body as big as Lavos and have like a giant sumo wrestling fight, Godzilla style. This was Lavos' goal, using the DNA of every organism and achieving the ultimate in evolution. Attack value is off the scale. It's shorting out my sensors. Me no run, Ayla no run away. Worse than losing. I wonder what the other characters say. Hmm. Human hands created me, which means I am a product of that thing. I am no different than Luca and the others. I'm a part of all living things. Yay! Ayla strong. Ayla and world good. You outsider, not part of the planet's intent. Alright. Now, I remember this fight being weird just because of how Lavos looks. And I remember this like there being a crazy background, but I do not know anything about this fight. Okay, so we can hit the main body for good damage. We can hit the left part for good damage. Okay, so we can't hurt the right part yet, so let's go after... Oh, well, okay. Well, yeah, that's simple enough. Yeah, so we're going to try killing the other two parts first, and then hopefully that lowers the defense of the third. We may need to heal Chrono here. Yeah. Lavos Core shuts off defense? Oh, sweet. Now we get to deal full damage to it, so I'm gonna guess that means we should have focused it. Anytime a enemy that normally has high defense lowers its defense, I want to focus it. Pretty simple rule. Evil Star reduces HP by half. That's quite a bit of damage, but it's fine. We will have, I think, Robo use a Lapis just to keep our health over like 500 or so. Well, you asked that? I am pretty sure it did, but I'm also pretty sure there are parts from Chrono Trigger that were used as kind of the idea for things in Final Fantasy VIII as well. Like the prison there's a prison segment in Final Fantasy VIII where your party loses all of its equipment and is really weak. But one of your characters is a boxer named Zell, so he can fight effectively. And to me, it seems almost exactly like the idea this game uses when Dalton captures you. Which, incidentally, I still think is the stupidest thing in the entire game, but not gonna rant about that. But, I think they took the idea directly from this game. And there are a bunch of examples like that in Final Fantasy VII and VIII. I didn't see what it said before time warp. Huh. Active life decreases defense power. Okay, that's what it was saying. Disables defense status. Okay, so when it says disables defense status, it means like removes your protection from status effects. Gotcha, gotcha. By the way, I'm trying to focus on the fight, so I'm not really looking at chat much. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can trace some of the ideas in Chrono Trigger to things from Secret of Mana. I think they kind of repeated a few of the ideas from it. And then Xenogears is definitely a big influence on Chrono Cross. Or if not influence, they at least had like used the same ideas, and it was the same people making it, so. I guess when you have the same people making the multiple games, they will tend to just reuse ideas, so it makes sense. Alright. Ultimate physical attack. Oh, that definitely hurt. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, but this boss shut off its defense. I'm being greedy and having Chrono attack, and then I'll heal with Ayla. I mean, I could probably just use full tonics, but I have Mega Elixirs, and this is the last fight, so why not? The background is really cool, especially with how it changes depending on, I guess it's kind of like going through different time periods. And I really like this music. It's kind of, what would you call it? It doesn't stand out. It's not like bombastic, but it sets a really good mood. I think it works really well for like background music. Okay. So its defenses should go back up pretty soon, but until they do, we're going to keep pounding on it. Let's go ahead and use a Lapis. Oh, does it? Yeah, I guess it makes. Wait, really? I mean, I guess it makes sense that killing one or two parts would change what attacks it uses, but that's it? Really? I didn't realize killing that would end the fight, but I like that it's flashing through the different areas. That's cool. Okay, might have a seizure. I'm half joking, but I am slightly bad with flashing lights. Not epileptic, but ooh, hmm, yeah, ow. That gave me a little bit of a headache. Oh well, Chrono, Chrono. I do not remember the ending or this ending at all. It's time to rise and shine. We have a little surprise for you. Hey, it's a soldier from the castle. Your stay of execution has been canceled. We must now carry out your sentence. What? Hey, I didn't know there was an animation for kneeling in front of the king. That's cool. We've been looking for you, Chrono. Where did you take my daughter? What is he talking about? Daddy, don't! Chrono hasn't done a thing. She says Chrono has been a perfect gentleman, but what do you think, Chancellor? Chrono's deeds have had an enormous impact on the kingdom. Chancellor, how could you? Please, just listen to me. We had to save the future, right? Oh, it's a fake out. Huh? Wait, isn't that the guy from the future? You saved the future and gave us hope. Yeah, that was the guy from one of the domes. No, you say that, but especially in Japan, that totally true. You fought Magus's troops and brought peace to the kingdoms in year 600. You know, I don't know what happens there. I've never actually gotten all the endings in this game, or checked if there are variations endings, so I have no idea. Chrono beat Reptites? What's going on here? I am so confused. Luca was hiding behind the throne the whole time? Luca, you brought them here, didn't you? But the guy on the right, his name was like Dome or Dome something? He's from the future, the ruined future. You know, the one we were trying to prevent by defeating Lavos? How is he here? We defeated Lavos. The future shouldn't be ruined anymore. He shouldn't exist. What's going on? Whatever. But no, like, The whole point of defeating Lavos was to prevent his future from happening. How is he here? No, not thinking about it. Whatever. Our kinsman told me all about your incredible mission. Kinsman? You mean these are my ancestors and descendants? Here I was fussing about my kingdom and my daughter, and you were saving past, present, and future. Now, for a true victory parade. Tonight we celebrate you! Now, Marle, go out and enjoy the last night of the fair. Yay! Wait, wasn't the fair only supposed to last like a week or maybe even just a few days? If so, are you saying... Never mind, not thinking about it. Not thinking about it. Come along with Chrono, our hero. Nadia is finally home. At last, Guardia is back to normal. It's a moonlight parade. Hey. Whoa. They actually put a lot of work into this. That's cool. I wish we could have actually like seen this in the game, ran around in the festival at night. This would have been so awesome. Like, this is a great set piece. I wish they would have used it. Then again, I guess if they had, it would have made the ending less special, so I get it. Well, that's a kind of cute ending. Yeah, I'll be honest. I think this is very much a game where you just shouldn't think about it. Just turn off your brain and enjoy the journey. I think if you try to think about anything too much, you'll find holes, and I'm not good at turning my brain off, so I definitely got frustrated at points in the game because of it. But hey, so we actually get to run around? That's cool. We can make him jump up and down. That's fun. Wait, can I make him jump? Oh, I was hoping I could make him jump to the even further to the left. You saved us all? That's nice, dear, but I wish you spent more time around the house. It's a real problem when the person who's in charge of the cat is gone. And that's fair. You shouldn't own a pet if you can't take care of it. This is fantastic. It actually is. I'm really happy with it. Lemonade sure tastes great outdoors. I am guessing in the original game, like in the Japanese version, that was probably not lemonade. Erna, have a sip. You're the hero today. I'm just gonna assume that... No, I don't want to talk to you, Tabin. I want to talk to the person next to you. What a dreamy night. Thank you, darling. Aw. Well, wait. I think... Yeah, she can't walk, right? Luca's mom, and there's a thing with her where you can save her from an accident, and then she can. I feel bad that I wasn't able to do that. Not much business in weapons anymore, but I like it that way. Okay. Wait, can we go up here? Yeah. I can't talk to any of those people, that's sad. What about over here? Blocked off. Aw, I bet I can't go talk to Gato again. If so, that's such a missed opportunity. Oh, that's heartbreaking, man. It would have been so cool if they would have had Gato in this ending scene and like he had a new song that he would sing to us. Missed opportunity for sure. Well, everyone, this is it. Each to thine time. The gate has grown weak. We've got to say our goodbyes. But if Robo goes back to the future and we've changed the future, not think about it, they're all leaving. Bruno was strong, Marl too. Ayla, have fun. They're my distant ancestors, so you better have tough kids or I'll be in trouble. No worry, Ayla very strong. Hey, what do you mean by that? Yeah, I'm guessing there was a bit of censorship there. Kino dummy, we go now. Yeah, I'm betting in the Japanese it was a bit more scandalous. Aw. Tis a feisty crowd, but they are thine kin, and 'tis of consequence. Queen Lean awaits, your majesty. We too shall take our leave. Oh, why doesn't Marl get to see Queen Lean? That would have been cool. Mr. Frog. Long farewells never were necessary. Believe me, I was saying the same thing about that. You mentioned, the world's going to end in 1,000 years. Why do they care so much? Think about, like, next time you play through it, whenever you get to a new time period, why do they bother doing anything there? Like, after the first time we confront Magus, he summons Lavos, we get sent into prehistoric times. And then there's this whole part where we help Ayla defeat all the reptites. And the game doesn't give you any explanation as to why you should care about that. You can totally go to a time gate and go back to the time period and go back to, like, try to go back to Magus's castle. And the game just puts you in prehistoric times, and it's like, here's the plot thread, follow it, even though your characters give you no reason why they should. But this game just, I don't want to be overly critical or negative, but honestly, I do not think this game makes sense if you think about it as you play. I just genuinely think you have to just don't worry about it, don't think about it, just enjoy the ride. And I think that's how you make the game work. Yeah, don't these things end with the princess kissing the frog? Especially with how in the world did Dalton one-shot our entire party to capture us and put them on the black? I cannot get over that, and I'm still genuinely upset. The first time we see Dalton, he walks into the room with Shala, and we're like, oh no, this bad guy. He then just walks over to Shala, kidnaps her as we stand still, making no effort to stop him. And then after he's already grabbed her, he's like, you can't stop me. I don't care if she lives, I'll kill her. Even though he's under orders from the queen to bring Shala back, and if he doesn't, he'll die because the queen needs Shala to control the Mammon machine. But hey, okay. Somehow he kidnaps her while we stand there and watch, and whatever. He lies about not caring if he kills her. Whatever. We then go, we do some stuff, we find Dalton, we fight him, we beat him in a fight. Next time we see Dalton, he shows up, and, the Ocean Palace collapsed, and he just one-shots our entire party. He's just like, I'll show you my true power, knocks our entire party out, and kidnaps us. But then we go fight him at the end of that same segment, and he's a total pushover, can't deal any damage, and we just beat him easily. It's like, wait. So first he shows up, we can't do anything to stop him from kidnapping Shala. Then we beat him in a fight. Then he shows up and beats us mercilessly, we can't do anything to resist. Then we beat him in a fight like it's a total joke. I'm like, dude, what? How? But anyway. So, you're going to search for Shala? And Magus leaves without saying a word, because he was useless. Honestly, I don't think Magus does anything useful in his entire life. Luca, I will miss you. Wait. What's wrong, Luca? Aren't you going to say goodbye to... But... Robo's from a future that no longer exists. She knows. Wait. Robo was born in a bleak future when we defeated Lavos. We changed history. Robo may not exist in... That's fake! So... She brought Doan from the future that couldn't exist. Now Robo is saying he may not exist in the future, but that doesn't make sense. If she was able to bring Doan from the future, then the future must exist. So why are they acting like Robo's future may not exist when he goes back? Whether the future doesn't exist and she can't grab Doan to have him here for the celebration, or that future does exist and there's no concern about Robo going back to it. No, whatever. I need to stop thinking about it. No. Haha, please relax. The new future has a place for me. Darn it, Robo, don't pretend you don't care when you're really sad. It just makes things worse. Luca, you have taught me these emotions. Thank you. Heroes don't become you, Luca. Robo will be there in the new future. Notice how Doan doesn't say anything, even though Luca must have gotten him from the future? He stood there watching this whole conversation where, like, we don't know if the future, exists. It's like, but he's from that future. You went and grabbed him. What are you talking about? Caution. Oil has washed over my sight sensor. Sight diminished. I want to feel the emotions. I do. It's just, it doesn't make the slightest bit of sense, man. Not even a little. Goodbye, Robo. You were the best. Well, no, Ayla was the best, but you're the second best. I thought Lavos made the gate, but I guess I was wrong. What do you mean? I think a greater force wanted us to experience those events. Yes, it's called the game's writer. Time travel. How exhausting. We should dismantle the epoch. Its job is finished. Wait. You're an inventor. You have a time machine and you want to dismantle it? Because its job is finished? What? No! You're an inventor! You have a time machine! Do stuff with it! You naughty thing, come back here. Look, Chrono, your cat's running away because you haven't been feeding it. Poor thing. Hey, come back here. Ah. Oh, great. Chrono, that gate will never open again. Well, it looks like we have no choice but to go after them. Go after them? But the gates? Luca, don't turn off your brain yet. I forgot, we have a time... How do you forget you have a time machine? You have a time machine, it solves all of life's problems. How is this a thing? Oh, Princess, the king asked for your presence. It's really hard for me to turn my brain off and not think about things when the game keeps drawing your attention to it. I'm so happy, now there's no reason for you to go away anymore. Oh yeah. Beyond that, like, why was... I could go on a whole rant about Magus's plans. I'm trying my very hardest. I just beat this challenge run. I'm happy about it. It's really cool. So I don't want to be negative, but yeah, there's so many things like what you're talking about. I 100% agree. I just don't want to, like... I know me, if I start talking about it, I'll fixate and I'll crash out again, because I've done that already during this run. I have a gift for you to commemorate this day, Princess Nadia. Is it a pony? Is it a pony? It's not a pony. This is Nadia's bell. It will ring out across the land. Wow, that's your gift to your daughter? Is a bell? Huh. Marl, where did you go? Could someone please lend me a hand? Daddy, I hate to say this, but I can't sit around doing nothing. And then you just leave him there? He looks like he's... I think he put the bell up and then is somehow... Is he floating in the air? You made it just in time. Shall I fire one off? No, Tevin. I could really use your help. Hey, fireworks! Woo! We win! We win! Ah. I have no idea what I should play after this. I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I kind of want to play Secret of Mana, but... I don't know. I think I may need a break from RPGs. I don't know. I'll be honest, I thought today's stream would take way longer than it did. So I kind of feel weird with the idea of just canceling it. Or not canceling it, but ending it. I don't know if I really want to jump into a different game. Huh. Well, part of me wants to just grind a bunch of levels and see if I can beat that stupid boss in the desert. Because that was one of only 2 fights that I came across in this entire run I couldn't beat. But I win! I win! I win! I gotta be honest, that final fight was so anticlimactic. Wait, is that Robo with his girlfriend? I think that was Robo with Atropus. Magus is just floating in the air up in the mountains. Wait, Magus can fly? He totally just took off flying. Wait, like I thought he could. I knew he could like float off the ground, but I thought that was just like floating an inch or 2 off the ground, not like he can fly around the sky. Ooh, I kind of want to play Parasite Eve a bit. I don't know. I do want to try the Chrono Trigger randomizers people talked about yesterday while I was streaming. They sound like they could be interesting. I don't think I want to play them on a stream. I'm not looking to be much of a streamer, like making lots of content. I'm mostly just wanting to document when I do challenge runs. So I have like video recording of them. And I figure it's easier to stream them than to try to record them to my hard drive and upload them to YouTube. But, yeah. Well, huh. I wonder if there's a way I could look at what happened in that boss fight on screen. I don't have it set up on OBS, but I think I could pull it up. Like, change my overlay to allow it. I am gonna wait for the ending to play out fully, though. Want to see all the credits. But yeah, I swear it was the strangest thing when I killed the Terra Mutant. Because I am pretty sure I only hit it 1 time. Well, like 1 time after the bottom half died. The bottom half died, and I think I hit the top half 1 time, and then it just died. And I cannot get over that. The end. Yay. Anyway, gotta say, let's see. I guess I should wrap up my thoughts on the run real quick. All in all, this run was jokingly easy. There was genuinely no difficulty in the run, other than the tedium. And I think that's an interesting dynamic. I don't think Chrono Trigger actually encourages you to use magic or technique in the sense of the game is harder without them. I think it just does it by making the game slower without them. Like, I don't think there was a single battle that was genuinely difficult, but there were quite a few battles that were quite tedious. And I think there's an important distinction between those two. Honestly, I was blown away by how easy this final part of the game was. I've heard about people talking about like leveling up to level 60 or higher, grinding all these items, speed tabs, magic tabs, power tabs, all that stuff. And it's just like, why? That was so easy. Like, I didn't struggle in the slightest. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. And that's totally fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, I think because of how easy it was, this restriction didn't really do as much as I thought it would. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but because like I was remembering all those bosses where I was like, oh, you have to use magic to beat them. But I think the just baseline difficulty level of the game is so low that even with the challenge of the run, it really wasn't hard. There were definitely tedious fights, but yeah, I kind of want to play through it again using magic and text just to see how the run compares. You know what? Maybe I should do that. I'd probably do it off stream, but like just go through the whole game, not New Game Plus, but just a new game and see how I feel about it if I like actually use magic and such. Also, wait, can I not save? Part of the reason I wanted to wait to watch the credits other than just see them was so I could save, so I could go to New Game Plus. But the game's not going anywhere. It just says the end. A no equipment upgrades run? That could be interesting. Oh, okay. I thought I had to save manually at the end to get New Game Plus. Gotcha. Well, that's good to know then. All right. But yeah. Well, that was a very anticlimactic end. I don't know. It's like I was only streaming for 2 hours too. Do I really want to? I don't want to play the same game a second time back to back, really. Hmm. I don't know. There aren't any other games in the Chrono series. I've already played Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, so unless I go to like a Final Fantasy or some other Square Enix game, I don't know what I would play next. But well, I'll pick a different game for tomorrow and I will be back. I don't know if it'll be a game you have any interest in watching me play, but thank you very much for stopping by. It's always good to have people to talk to, especially ones who know more about a game than I do when I'm playing it. All in all, I gotta say, the challenge room was mildly interesting in that it was interesting to see how you could defeat bosses without using magic when the game very much expected you to use magic. But even with all the extra work I had to do for those fights or those boss battles, it still took me 25 hours to beat the game. With the challenge run, that's not long at all, really. So I think that kind of gives you a good idea. All in all, I don't think you miss out on too much by not using magic or techniques in the game. And I think a lot of people probably make the game more difficult than it needs to be by over focusing on dual and triple text. I'm honestly not sure when I would ever use dual or triple text in the game. Like after beating the game without using magic or techniques at all, I don't think I would use dual or triple text at all in the entire game. There might be some like rare situations where they're worth it, but yeah, I would just use single text like Cyclone or whatever to help clear out random enemies faster, and then just use whatever your biggest hit is on boss. I don't think you'll actually miss out on anything by just completely skipping dual or triple text. I'll have to play the game again sometime. I'll probably do it off stream and maybe use the fast forward feature so it goes faster and see. But let's say that, yeah, that's a little disappointing. The idea of dual and triple text is really cool, but I don't think it was very impactful. Similarly, I absolutely love the positional mechanics in Chrono Trigger, where like depending on where an enemy is standing, it can change how they behave. I think that was really awesome. Wish they would have done more with it, but I guess it was a new idea, and the first time trying it, it probably just didn't. It was probably one where they had a really good idea, but needed to, iterate on it a few times to get it to work better. But all in all, I really enjoyed the run, other than the tedious boss battles and crashing out about the story. The game still has great aesthetics, and I mean, still, even with like it's a the combat is still pretty solid. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Especially enjoyed the exploration, the aesthetics, the vibes, the general feel. Definitely don't regret this run. That said, final thing, for this entire stream, it was worth it just for that Terra mutant boss fight. You should definitely go look at it in the VOD. I'm going to like clip it or something, probably post it on YouTube because it is still the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Actually, let's see if I can bring it up. Hmm. Uh, no, I don't know how to bring up my VOD while streaming. So now I'm gonna end the stream now, and then I'm gonna go back and clip that moment because it was the weirdest thing I ever encountered in this run. It was really cool. It was like a 10-10 moment. It alone made the entire run worth doing. So with that said, thanks to anyone who stopped by, anyone who checks it out after the fact. Hope you all are having a good day, and I'll see you when I see you.